Today we are making fasolada. This is the Greek white bean soup. So here are ingredients. We start with the beans. I've used the dried version. I always like to make them myself, but using the canned one is totally perfect for this recipe. There's no problem at all. You can use the one from the can. I use the dried one. So that means that I need to wash first and then to soak those in big bowl covered with water for 8 hours. This is what I did. And then here, have a look at the finished version. So after they soak, I drained that soaking water and then I cook them in a pot with some garlic and some onion for another 2.5 hours, just slowly, and again covered with water. And that's the final version compared to the dried one here. So those are ready to go in our soup. Now for our soup, to start with, we're going to start with the onion. We have some celery and some carrots. We have one potato as well over there. And then we have rosemary. We have black pepper that we'll use only at the end. We have some bay leaves and also some oregano. We have some garlic, lots of garlic here. And we're going to use some chili flakes as well, a little bit in our soup. And at the very end, we will add a big bunch of fresh spinach. So let's get started. It starts with the olive oil, of course. So we're going to put a good 3 tablespoons of olive oil in our pot here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by cooking our vegetable first. And we need to just cook them slowly. We don't want any browning or anything. So, okay, we start with our onion here. Onion, celery. So I have like 3 small onions, 2 sticks of celery, and 2 big carrots. You can use 3 if they're not so big, but I had very big carrots. So there's 2 of them here. I'll put this down even a little bit more because we don't want to fry these. We want them to simmer slowly. So we're just going to make sure that this doesn't go too fast. So that's perfect now. And salt at every step of the recipe because this is important to always add the salt at every step. So we start with this for now. And then we make sure that these vegetables cook for maybe a good 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes until they are all soft. And then we'll continue with the other ingredients. Okay, this is just simmering really beautifully and it's perfect. Now we're going to add, we have 4 cloves of garlic here, big ones, so lots of garlic. So we're going to add our garlic and also we're going to add our potato. So little cubes here. And then we're going to let that simmer another just couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. Okay, now it's time to add our beans. So if you use the canned beans, I think that you use 2 cans of the beans. I've used here, in this, there's just half a pound of dried beans. And it grows and grows and becomes that much. So it's only a small amount. And then, of course, after it's ready, we have that much. So I'm just going to put all the beans here in our pot. And now it's going to be a little bit urgent to add some liquid because we don't want anything to stick at the bottom. I'll put it down a little bit for now. We don't want our beans to stick. We're going to add our seasoning first. So I have some rosemary, 1 teaspoon, 3 bay leaves, 1, 2, 3, and 1 tablespoon of oregano, the one that's from our garden that we dried. And then I'm going to use just like 1 pinch of chili flakes, a little bit more, 1.5 pinch. Okay, so we'll mix that all together again. Okay, and then now we're going to add our liquid. I'm going to add 2 liters of liquid. You can just use water because there's plenty of flavor in here. I'm using 1 liter of vegetable stock and 1 liter of water in there. So that's 2 liters. We want to just cover on top, depending of how much vegetable you use. You just cover it a little bit more, a little bit less. It's okay. And I think now it's perfect. So we're gonna let that simmer. I'll come back and taste for the salt, maybe halfway, because we'll wait till it just starts to simmer a little bit and taste to see how much salt, if we need some more salt. So we'll cover our pot now and just watch for it. Come and stir it from time to time. And this will go for about 15 minutes. Our soup is nearly ready. Just a few more little steps. And halfway through the cooking, I added another 1 teaspoon of salt. So always just taste it through, because it's better to add it while it's still cooking than just at the end. So now it's just perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our soup and put it in the blender and mix it all in the blender. So it's going to make this soup really, really creamy, but we're still going to have some beans and carrots and onions and everything in there. So we're using about not even half, maybe 1/3 of the amount of soup. We'll put it in the blender and mix it all and put it back. Add our spinach as well. So nearly done. So it smells really amazing. So now I'm just going to take some of our soup and put it all here in the blender. Make sure you have a little bit of everything. Some of the beans, of course. And no bay leaves, but in the blender. So if we come across a bay leaf, we're gonna make sure that we take it out, because we don't want them in the blender for sure. Okay, that should be enough now. Very important now as well that we're very careful with this. You see how hot this is? And so we don't fill it up much more than that. I put my top on, and what I do is very important. Use your folded dishcloth and put it on top of your blender just to make sure, and hold it tight, because we don't want that boiling soup on your pretty face. So it's very important to use a cloth, especially when the liquid is hot. It seems to be sort of shooting up when we start our blender. So be careful with that one. Look how beautiful this is. That's going to make the soup so creamy here. So we just return everything to the pot. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. It smells amazing. At this point, we can add our pepper. So I will add some black pepper, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper here. And also, now it's time to put that back to just simmering really just for a few more minutes while we're adding the spinach as well. So we have our big bunch of fresh spinach, and I'll just chop it really roughly here just to add it to our bowl. So just squeeze them a little bit together, and then you can easily just chop, chop, chop. So, spinach. Bring it just to simmer, and our soup will be ready. We'll add just a little bit more olive oil at the end, or it can be added to the bowl as well. Fine. And also, when we serve it, we can add a little bit of feta cheese on top, optional, but it makes it really extra delicious. And it's a meal on its own. It's really rich and creamy and beautiful and so healthy and full of good ingredients. Our beans are full of protein, of course, and all our veggies here. So this is a meal on its own, and it's very beautiful to serve in the winter, but all time of the year, always a very favorite in our family. Fasolada is ready. We're gonna just turn off the heat, and after we finish cooking, we can add still a little bit more of olive oil, the Greek olive oil, of course, just couple of tablespoons, and then we can add some to the bowl as well, or either way, but I think with that should be enough, and then we can serve it immediately. It's ready. Let's have a look. Oh, it smells beautiful. Et voila, fasolada, your Greek bean soup. So healthy and delicious. It smells amazing. Yasu, bon appetit.